According to sources, Princess Catherine is unhappy regarding this, and of course her eldest child, His Royal Highness Prince George. As ever, let me explain. Morning, good to see you, chums. Thank you so much as ever for taking the time out to join me today in this wonderful leafy area. Isn't it nice? Yes, very humid though, let me tell you, but it's always nice to be out and about in the fresh air. I'm so glad, should I say, so many of you enjoy the fact that I film the reports outside, because as I said, I could do it in a studio. It's not a problem, but I just can't wait to get out in the fresh air. While you can in this summertime, it's better to just be out and about, isn't it? As I often say to all the chums here, even if you just got a window open, fresh air can do you a lot of good. And even just sitting out, if you've got a small patio or a back garden or a bench or something, get out. You just feel a lot better, don't you? You agree with me, don't you? You do. Of course you do. Well, have a wave. Nice to see you. Anyway, let's get back, of course, to your royal story of the day. Now, as we know, Princess Catherine has done a lot this year. When people say, oh, what does she do? This is a woman still recovering, of course, from a very severe health issue. And, I don't like to highlight that too much, because I know that people don't want their health issues highlighting, do they? You really just want to get on, I feel that. And I think that people just think, oh, don't do it, But of course, when you're in the public eye, like Catherine, it's very hard, because every nook and cranny is turned over. But I thought what she's done so far has been splendid. And let's be honest, when we saw her at Wimbledon and Trooping the Colour, she looked absolutely terrific. The story goes, though, behind the scenes, Catherine is apparently crumbling, and it's all down to this. Well, what's the true story? I always like to share the inside track, simply because then you know the bottom line behind it. You see, the story goes that in, of course, royal protocol, very soon, that's right, Prince George will not be allowed to travel with his mother and father. And this was really something put back and forth, absolutely not really initially by Queen Elizabeth. This went back actually to Victorian times. But of course, it wasn't as prevalent then, because people didn't travel that much together in all of that unison. This really took off in the sort of era of aeroplane and sea travel and stuff like that, concerned about all sorts of attacks, anything can go wrong. And the idea, of course, would be that if they're separated, then the continuation of the monarchy literally does continue. Now, I can tell you from an excellent source, the background story to this is that, yes, Catherine, like all mothers, finds it difficult, and she's been very open about this, absolutely, in a recent chat, saying your life just doesn't click back into gear simply because you've now stopped the treatment and things like that. And she says she holds things differently to what she did before. She and George, naturally being her first child, are very close indeed, have a very special bond. And of course, they're looking at the next school for him and all of that, things that go through children growing up, moving away, the usual stuff. But the bottom line is that, well, absolutely 100%, they're not against it. Neither is Prince William, that is the Prince of Wales, of course, simply because they know that this was something that Queen Elizabeth put into gear for one reason. Now, of course, on private things, we're talking I'm talking about big state affairs, whether it's flying across to America and stuff like that. But even on private holidays, this now may kick into force. Now, the bigger picture, and this is the point that's been presented, shall we say, to the Prince and Princess of Wales, is simply this. You see, look at the situation should that terrible thing ever happen. And, we all pray to the Lord that that never would, right? But, things can do. And if that was to happen, and we've been told this about William before, even on the electric scooter that he has zipping around Windsor Castle, he's been warned not to go at certain speeds because he's not got a helmet on. And the bottom line is, as Princess Anne found out, a freak accident can be more catastrophic than you first realise. Behind the scenes, truly, though, is, if you think about it, if many were wiped out, who would then rear their heads wanting to take charge? You get the picture now. Hence the reason Catherine and both William understand the sensibilities of this particular ongoing royal tradition. Neil Shawn, Kensington, London.